Okay, let's get this music going. I've done some audio testing. I'm pretty sure that I should sound fine relative to the music. But yeah, hello everyone. This is going to be a very laid-back video just because I wanted to get back into the swing of recording something. I don't know. I'm between commitments right now. I've just graduated high school, and I'm kind of between jobs, so... yeah, I mean, I figured with all the free time I might as well record something. So this is gonna be pretty laid back. But I was on the Wedgehurst Amps, which were the winners of the second edition of TSA. TSA is a for-fun team tour organized by my good friend Zardachar. And we managed to win. What you see here are the regular season standings. So there are 8 teams. Everyone gets drafted. Everyone who signs up. So it's a great kind of proving grounds. As you can see, the Psychos here were the #1 team coming out of the regular season. I don't know if you can hear that siren in the background. My bad if you can. But yeah, the Psychos were the #1 team, beating literally everyone. The Lunalas beat everyone except the Psychos, and then us and the Kindreds are kind of pretty clearly a tier below them. For the regular season at least, both scraping in at 4-3. And we lost to the Lunalas in the last week of the regular season, which was the 1 week of the season that I did not play. And we ended up going down 0-3 to them in semifinals, but we managed to get the reverse to 4-3. And then in the... I could probably just show that right here. Yeah. And the... Muzz never reported their game, but they won that. And then the Kindreds managed to make a pretty miraculous upset over the Psychos, which I don't think anyone really saw coming. So they ended up being the 2 4-3 teams in finals, and we won it pretty convincingly. We won 4-2. Blizz IMT never actually happened. They forfeited because the series was, over. Even if they won, it would have been 4-3. So 5-2, technically really 4-2. And if we look at my team here, we can see that I was actually the strongest player on my team in terms of record. I went 6-2. I played every week except for this week here against the Lunalas, the first time over. And I'm just here to kind of go over my replays, go over the teams that I brought, and see what's up. So let's open some of these. I was going to open all of them originally, but I'm really worried about killing my computer, so it's going to be a little scuffed. You're going to see me opening the replays and everything. Week 1 against Hems. So, this was, literally, day 1 or 2 of Reg MB, and I didn't really find any concepts that I was liking, so I just stole entirely the NAIC winning team, and I made the Garchomp Life Orb and then Rock Tomb over Stomping Tantrum. And those were the only changes I made. So this is just the NAIC winning team. And yeah, let's get into it. So he brings a pretty interesting day 1 cook. He kind of was playing more to have fun as opposed to winning. I really wanted to win this. Because I think this was the deciding factor this week. So he leads off with Raichu Volcarona. I just see a pretty free, I think, Earthquake here. I'm pretty sure I clicked Tailwind as well. Yep. Because I don't really care. If he Rising Voltages my Spiky Bird, it won't kill, because it doesn't actually double in power against the flying types. And then here I can just go for double Rock move into the Volcarona pretty freely. As he Quiver Dances again. But yeah, Volcarona doesn't threaten no one-hit KO on either of my Pokemon. I can kill it, and then he has just Incineroar Sinistcha, which doesn't have much field presence, and he will forfeit. So pretty clean game from me. I just don't really think he was ready for the Aero Chomp lead at all. Raichu Volcarona, obviously not great into it. So yeah. Game 2, I do the same lead. As he leads Sinus Incin. Sorry, dropped my phone there. He leads Sinus Incin. Oh, and I was a little confused by this. I think I didn't want to take a Matcha Gotcha burn on my Garchomp, so I just go for the Rock Slide and they pivot into Zard. As they pivot back into Incineroar, which I find interesting, probably predicting a Solar Beam. Do I go for it? I'm kind of finding out with you guys here, because I don't remember these very well. So I'm Sash Basculegion, so I'm kind of like this play is very safe for me, as he is Scarf, so I can just get off that chip. He makes a good play, doubling the Basque, but now I can just go to Garchomp, and Earthquake is a pretty free click. He is Timid Floette, so assuming that this is a speed tie, I could have gotten into trouble here if I lost a speed tie and then got crit on my... Like, if I got crit here, it was kind of bad, but I did not. And then if I, like, lost this speed tie and then missed Rock Slide, things could have also gone badly, but things did not. So, relatively straightforward. Soak, Basque with Raichu is funny. He just kind of brought a bad team, because he wanted to experiment with the format, and I picked something very boring and was able to run him over. I suppose I should probably talk about the team a bit more. I don't know, I just said it was the NAIC winning one. I mean, you know how it works. Zard Arrow is good. You can do what I did, and you don't have to even Mega the Arrow. You can just bring it for Tailwind. Chomp with 2 flying types, Epic, Sash Basque, strong under Tailwind. Sylveon's a good Tail Room threat. There's no Chip Room on this version, actually, but yeah. So yeah, pretty convincing win for me in Week 1. As we move on to my Week 2 set against North, I guess. And that Week 1 was against the Meteor Falls Miniors. And this next week is going to be against the Fluttering Winds. So, this was my team against North, I guess. This is my only team of the entire season that I actually built myself. And this is still like Week 1, basically, of MB. So there's not a ton of strong proven concepts. Mega Swampert seems really cool. And this is pretty heavily inspired by my Sacramento team from Regulation H. The Basculegion has been subbed out for a Swampert, and the Blood Moon Ursaluna has been subbed out for a Floette, and the rest of these are just basically the exact same. The Archaludon is leftovers because there's no Assault Vest, and the Overkill is Gunk Shot to Oko bulkier Floettes instead of Poison Jab, as it was on my Sacramento team. Let's just flip that perspective. Yeah. So, it's against screens, which I don't feel super comfortable against. Like, I think the matchup looks pretty good for me on paper, right? I have Ice Punch on my Swampert, so I can deal with the Dragonite via that. My Overquill actually looks pretty strong. It can chunk Metagross. I don't know, my Overquill looks okay. It actually doesn't trade particularly well. It's good into Grim. It's okay into Metagross. It can chunk it, but it just dies to, like, Iron Head. Garchomp isn't much of a threat, but my Floette can go crazy if I can handle the Metagross, because Tailwind plus Floette, like, Sneasler isn't even really that great of an answer into that, right? If you can get the... Like, so basically, my goal here is to chip the Metagross into Floette range and break the Sneasler's Focus Sash. Because my Floette is a huge threat. Never mind, I go Swampert. Okay. Silly me, I guess. So I immediately go for that Wave Crash and Weather Ball, as I think they go for just Wisp. Yeah. This is an okay trade for me. It's actually pretty bad. Yeah, no, this is an awful trade for me, because I trade their Screen Setter for my biggest threat, and now I really don't have any way to break this under Reflect in the back, so... I get a nice crit, do 41, and yeah, with the help of the crit, I break it actually pretty easily. This is not a coherent video. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to just get used to what's it called. This Fellowfish should have been Tailwind. I don't know. I just like Wide Guard. I'm a Wide Guard fiend. So in comes Lifeguard, and I think I just should, yeah. I should Electroshock this Rotom, but it actually lives, right? No. Okay, dude, I'm all over the fucking place. How do I lose this? Right. Yeah, because I hit the Gunk, and then I think I just missed Draco here, which was a total misplay on my part. I should have just gone for the Flash Cannon. I'm pretty sure +1 Flash Cannon will definitely KO this after Lord Chip, but I go for the Draco, and I miss. And that is going to be GG's. I go for, go for trying to protect out of Earthquake range, but not quite going to be enough. So we go to Game 2, and I'm pretty sure here is where I find the Floette line after seeing that they left the Metagross at home. So I go for the Weather Ball into the Grim, get another nasty crit through the screen, which is very unfortunate for my opponent. Go for Electroshock, do 53 through screen, which is kind of an insane amount. This is a very offensive Rotom considering the set that it's running. Or it must be like a ton of Fizz Def, because my Archaludon has been doing not okay damage to this thing. And dude, this song is... I put on a Mewmore Chill mix. That is what the video is titled, and this is a lot. This is not the vibe that I was going for, man. All that aside, Garchomp comes in. I'm not really threatened here at all. They go for Earthquake and Electroweb. But like with my +2 Archaludon, like I've basically already won this game. They don't have anything. They could not have anything in the back that can beat +2 Arch at this point. Like even Sneasler is trading unfavorably into it, as it is just Dragonite in the back again. So my Floette is just going to be able to come in and clean this up in conjunction with my Archaludon. As we see, yeah, like even with Light Screen, that's doing 42. So I definitely should have just gone for Flash Cannon last game. I'm just kind of narrating. There's no real analysis here, which is my bad. I don't know. I find it hard to analyze my own games without like another voice in the call, as I fucking miss Light of Ruin, which is fine because my overclocked speeds. But I find it hard to be like analyzing my replays without another person in the call, because like I really need that extra viewpoint, because when I'm watching it, it's just like, yep, that's what I would go for. Yep, that's what I would go for. Yeah, so we go to Game 3. I should... Ooh, Wide Guard, nice play. Nice play, Ryu. I surprise myself sometimes. But yeah, this Rotom cannot protect, so all of these just Electroshots being sent its way are just very free. If I'm a Beast, I Draco this Garchomp. As I, go for the double up into Rotom. I don't think that, like, that crit definitely didn't matter. Yep, Wide Guard just to protect my Archaludon. As they Earthquake their own Metagross. And that's gonna be the game. Because my Archaludon next to Pelipper is no longer, like, breakable for them. Don't say that you're gonna kill yourself, guys. It's not funny. But yeah, Draco crit doesn't really matter, and that is going to be it. So yeah, unfortunate misplay to lose Game 1, but I move on to 2-0 record. And we have won the first 2 weeks, I should be specifying. But yeah, so I should be doing this beforehand. I'm explaining the teams after for some reason. But yeah, I mean, this team is kind of... You didn't see the Tailwind version of it, because I kind of just leaned pretty hard into Rain both games. But the basic idea is you have a lot of options. Like, you don't even need to... Well, I guess with the original version of the team back in Reg H, you didn't need to bring Pelipper, but you kind of have to bring Pelipper every game, because of the way that the Megos work. But, like, you know, Swampert can honestly do work even outside of Rain, because you have Talonflame. Talonflame enables Floette really well, with Flare Blitz as well. If you don't set up Rain immediately, you can do like a Talonflame Floette lead and kind of try to nuke Steel types. And Overkill is just really nice. It caught off guard like a lot of early structures in this metagame that weren't really prepared for it. It does surprisingly well into balance because of its matchup into like Sitistra and Floette. And like Taunt is just a really nice move in a lot of matchups to have that isn't typically featured on rain teams. So yeah, I mean, for the one team that I cooked, I think it was pretty good for the point of MB that we were in. It's obviously bad now that the format's developed more, but yeah. Next up, we have Week 3 against Canner on the Alderth Forest Kindreds. So this was our team's first loss. It was not my first loss, as we will see. But yeah, this one I took off of Limitless, I think directly after the St. Jude tour. I was really interested in these kind of like Sunroom Pyroar teams. Scrafty is such a cool option because you can bring it. It's one of those flexible megas like a Tyranitar or something where you can bring it as a non-mega on the faster version of the team. So you basically have the two modes of Scrafty, Farig, and then Torkoal with either Vileplume or Sylveon in the back, and then you can also do like Torkoal plus Vileplume, Torkoal plus Pyroar with like Scrafty and whichever one of the two you didn't lead. So very flexible team, puts the opponent in a lot of uncomfortable positions. And Pyroar under Sun is just a beast. It's very, very strong, especially with the Helping Hand Torkoal support. Also, no, I didn't bring any ugly shinies, because I don't like Scrafty's shiny, but I like Scrafty's Mega Shiny, so... we're here on the Zion Craig fan account. Shout out Mr. Craig. So I lead Sneasler, they lead Sneasler. I lead Scrafty Farig. I think both modes of this team are pretty evenly viable against this kind of the Stoice Floette stuff. I think I do prefer the Trick Room mode, which is why I'm going into it. These teams really just get ripped apart by Torkoal plus Farig. They can't really slow it down. Am I triple fire on this Torkoal, or do I have slow beam? I'm double fire Helping Hand. That's right. So your main priority should be getting early damage on the Blastoise and then ripping through them with Torkoal in the back, because they're answers to that. And then Torkoal Vileplume in the end game, once a lot of their pieces have been chipped, is also really hard to deal with for them. And Farig also just puts a big hole in the plan of like the fake out pivoting and everything. So yeah. My opponent switches out. I don't really care about Sneasler. The worst it can do is Dire Claw me, whereas Blastoise can, maybe getting off a Water Spout is annoying. If it can get off a Shell Smash, that can even be not the greatest if they can protect it correctly, because like if it even gets off like one Shell Smash boosted Water Spout under Trick Room, I'm pretty done. So I think Blastoise is always the correct fake out target there. My opponent makes a pretty nice play, getting King Gambit in on the Mega Scrafty to get the Intimidate boost. As they go for Protect, and I believe I double the King Gambit. That was to cover a Sneasler switch, and I eat a big Water Spout. I think I make the same play, yeah, like I don't... Oh no, I go for the Psychic Chip on Blastoise, so I don't think that was the best play. I think just, like, targeting the Blastoise is probably better. I was very afraid of a Protect, and they're just letting this Blastoise take all kinds of damage. It's really surprising to me. But yeah, I can bring in Torkoal here, and then, now that they have revealed to have no Incineroar... Okay, yeah, I knew this would happen. I need to get Ad Blocker if I'm gonna record these types of things. But yeah, Trick Room ends this turn. They have no more Fire Resist that aren't at 37%, so After You Eruption is very free in this endgame. As Sneasler comes in... I don't go for Protect here. I don't have Protect on my Vileplume, but I know that Shimmer can live any one hit, and I can go for that After You Eruption right after, and they should forfeit here. Oh, okay, they don't. But yeah, just go for Sleep Powder, Heat Wave to, and I have a full health, not full health, I have a Scrafty that lives Sucker Punch to the back is the point. Yeah, and they don't really run speed on these types of teams, so even though I am brave, I do likely outspeed them Do we ever see the King Gambit click a move to see if my Scrafty does underspeed it? I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't. But yeah, I don't think that any King Gambits are really running 9 speed or more. Okay, so game 2, just as a mix-up, I decide to go for the... Did I click the game 1 link twice? I think I clicked the game 1 link twice. Oops. Did I submit? No fucking way. I submitted game 1 twice, I think. Oops. Okay. Well, let's check Discord, I suppose. I'm leaking my Discord. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. There we go. Okay, cool. I submitted game 1 twice, but I saved the actual game 2 replay. Okay. Game 2, I decide to mix it up, expecting exactly something like this. Something that really tries to hard punish Farig Scrafty after they got beat by last game. So this is just the freest of Helping Hand E-Waves. As they trade their King Gambit for that. I was expecting Incineroar to come this game. I'm kind of shocked it didn't come last game. Here I protect on the Fake Out turn. Opponent makes a nice mid-ground and gets some damage on my Torkoal. As here, I think I should go for Protect. Oh no, I just go for Helping Hand Overheat. Yeah, reading a Protect on the Flobat. I don't get it, but good god, that is so much damage on Incineroar. That is so nice for my Torkoal later with Vileplume support. They just Parting Shot my guy instead of trying to kill it, which is an interesting play for sure. Here I just go Vileplume and Protect. They get a Calm Mind, but I'm not too worried about it. I can just try to put this Float to sleep, I think. As that is exactly what I try to do, and I go for a Heat Wave. It doesn't quite kill the Incineroar, but that is okay, because I brought Farigiraf this game. Usually you do see that Scrafty in the back during the fast mode, but I thought that potentially blocking a Fake Out could make that difference, and it does here. As I do manage to get off the Sleep Powder. So, pretty lucky to connect that Sleep Powder, but I think even without it, I was probably fine because I have this guy in the back, and I can Protect, Pivot in Torkoal, and as you're going to see, it's still doing quite a bit with Heat Wave. So probably like a Helping Hand Sludge Bomb from Vileplume would have been able to clean up after that Heat Wave chip.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already.
Again, wow.
Verizon's new simplicity plan.
Also, why is there, like, it's a chill mix. Why is there Battle Town theme? Christ. Anyways. So yeah. Cool team. Probably maybe my favorite team that I brought, despite it not being mine. Just felt very strong when I was prepping with it, and felt very strong in the game. So, next, we are playing against the Hearthhome Psychos, the big bads of the league. Like, easily the best team in the league, just purely in terms of the strength of their players. And here I have this cool Gardevoir team that I got from Dawei C in NPA. Shout out Dawei C, always been one of my very, very favorite players. So cool. And yeah, I've got a Gardevoir. Gardevoir Mouse Hold is super, super strong. Faint Mouse Hold works so well with Gardevoir. Super Fang works so well with Gardevoir. And Friendguard makes a big difference because that Pokemon is so frail. Spreads, I haven't really been talking about my spreads, but the one thing that I will note here is that this was another one where I made all of the spreads. The Gardevoir outspeeds Jolly Basket Legion is the important number there with that speed. So, yeah, a lot of Gardevoir trend bulkier, but I have always been a fan of very, very fast Gardevoir. I think it's so good. So yeah, Scarf Basque is a good cleanup piece. Talonflame is... God, I love Talonflame. I love Quick Guard Talonflame specifically. I think it's so cool. But yeah, if there's any one takeaway I want you to take away from this video, it is that Talonflame is like the greatest, like the greatest. I love Talonflame so much. So yeah, let's get into this replay against my very good friend Cool Guy 14604. He is on the Crimson Titidin. I am Danger Noodle VGC. Some beautiful in-jokes. And he's running Big Six. I was freaking out about this matchup beforehand because I had like a gut feeling that he was just going to bring it. I just go for Tailwind Hyper Voice here. Easy damage on that King Gambit as I trade my Gardevoir for it. Looks really bad on paper, but Garchomp is pretty free now. And I know, like, that is a Timid Floette, which means it is very likely running barely any bulk. He tries to Sucker Punch my Talonflame for some reason. I don't get that one. As I go for that dual Wing Beat plus Earthquake double up again, and it does manage to kill the Floette. As I suspected, that Timid does infer that he has barely any bulk, and then dual Wing Beat Earthquake is going to close out a very clean game 1 from me. Yeah. Game 2, I don't really see a need to adjust. I think that went exceptionally well for me. Oh, I do adjust. Why do I adjust? I've tried to cover the Zard from him, but he makes a nice play of his own, adjusting to something that gets pretty equally destroyed by my Gardevoir lead, but makes the recognition that I'm probably going to switch it up. I just go for the Tailwind Earthquake here on his Protect. Pretty boss from me. As he kowtows my Talonflame, which is a good play. In comes the Whims as I Quick Guard on his Sucker. And Earthquake. He brings in his Floette. He's going to be able to get off that Encore onto my Talonflame as I get off some more Earthquake chip. Dazzling Gleam will KO both, though, and now I am in a very bad place because he has managed my Tailwind turns incredibly well, as he just sacrifices his Whims, and now he has Chomp Floette in, and I really thought that this Aqua Jet would kill, but not quite going to be enough, as that Light of Ruin misses my Guardy, but he flinches the Rock Slide. No clue why he didn't just Moonblast, to be honest, but there we go. The Earthquake is going to be enough to kill both of my Pokemon. So, Game 3, here we are. Garchomp, Basculegion against Garchomp and Talonflame. Sticking to my guns here, I teched on his Aqua Jet, which I feel is pretty obvious, and get an Earthquake off. I don't think he's ever going to stay in with his Garchomp and not protect it. It's too valuable of a piece. I switch in my Gardevoir here, as he goes to Garchomp, and I get incredibly bailed as I try to dual Wing Beat to finish off his Basculegion on the Aqua Jet, but I miss, which means that I do not take Rough Skin, and I get my Gale Wings still, which means that on this next turn, I am still threatening him with a dual Wing Beat on his Whimsicott. I protect as he Tailwinds, he Rock Slides, trying to trade my Talonflame for his Whimsicott, but I recognize that if I don't get Tailwind up, then he has the advantage, right? I have a Scarf Basque, but his Garchomp can... Well, no, actually, because if I just dual Wing Beat Hyper Voice, it's still fine. I think this risks... it doesn't risk a Rock Slide flinch, because the Rock Slide... I guess it's kind of the same thing. It's just preserving my Tailwind for no reason, which is whatever, right? Like, this is kind of the same thing. I know, I think dual Wing Beat was the correct play. Because the thing is, I don't think I wanted to risk miss, I guess? But now I have to make some much harder calls to stall out his Tailwind, so I think that was a misplay on my end. As he makes the Aqua Jet Moonblast, which I call, I just protect, I sacrifice my, meaning to sacrifice my Guardy, as I do. And then in comes Talonflame, I can protect and fully stall out his Tailwind, bring in my Basculegion, and I do not miss the dual Wing Beat, which means that it is going to be GG's. So I move on to a record of 4-0. I'm feeling real good about myself, and we are up against the Killer Beedrills next. Where is my name? NB Rio. There we go. So we're up against the Killer Beedrills, who are, well, on paper the worst team in the league because their managers slept through everything. So they have entirely leftover players in the draft. And I didn't really find a team that I was comfortable with before this week, so I decided to run back a very similar Guardy concept. This is heavily based on the Vivamax Ben 10 team that top cut the Grand Champions Festival Encore, like, just before this match happened. And so it's just that team, right? I have the Como over the Garchomp, I have the Jolly Expert Ball Gambit, but I have kept Vacuum Wave, Guardy, and Quick Guard Talonflame, which the original Vivamax team does not have, so a little bit of my own / Starway spin on it. So yeah, and it's Rain. Rain is quite hard. This team has a very hard time hitting Mawile, but they don't even choose to bring it in Game 1. This turn, I make a pretty hard read, assuming that they will Earthquake to get around the Follow Me, which they do, and it just does so much, even to Friend Guard. Missing that Super Fang is probably going to cost me the game. I really needed that damage. Yeah. As they just get the Tailwind up, and I go for Sucker Punch. Do not get it because of the pesky Farigiraf, and that is just going to be the game as I last respect into the Farigiraf as well. Game 2, I choose to take a much more aggressive approach with the Talonflame Guardy as they go for the Pelipper Arcaludon. I end up respecting Wide Guard a bit too much here, and I let them get Tailwind for free? Or no, they just Weather Ball me. Fair enough. So at this point, I've been making basically the wrong play every time, so I'm like, fuck it, I have to take a risk. I Super Fang and I Hyper Voice, and I get it right. In comes the Swampert. I double teched to try to stall out some rain. Follow Me, maybe a bit overly safe. Maybe I could have gone for the same read. I think Super Fanging there should win me the game. I sacrificed my Gardevoir here. I think this is correct, but Faint Last Respect should have won me this game, and I just didn't find it. So that comes out, they don't miss Hurricane, and that's going to be GG's. So I lose. No. Not the best. My team does win this week 7-1. I forgot to mention, we lost to both the Kindreds and the Psychos, so we are now 3-2, excuse me, not 3-1. Next up, we have our team, our game against the, like, Star City Sligoos, I think? Yeah, Star City Sligoos, where I'm playing Cerulean Jake. And I have this cool Charizard Y Glimmora team that I got from, who did I get this from? I got that from the Battle Room video on it. I think this was right before Elizabeth used it. So yeah, shout out to them for putting me on. And yeah, I mean, you know, strong team, double weather, not the traditional double weather, but it is double weather. We've got, you know, just a lot of synergies. You know, pretty cool Tailwind HO with Glimmora. So yeah, we've got that. You. And will this last link open for me? Hello? There we go. Is this just game 2? No, this is just game... Oh, that's the Dungeness replay. Oh, oops. Wait, then where's my thing against Cerulean Jake? Here it is. I just opened the Dungeness replays again. Okay, oops. I'm embarrassing myself out here. Okay, so here's game 3. There's game 2. And there is game 1. So yeah, I lead, what's it called? So usually the lead in this matchup is Glim Wims, because it hard punishes Zard. So I hard call that they are just gonna go Wims, Chomp to punish that, but I forget that there's another lead that punishes that exceptionally well, which also beats my lead, which is countering Wims, Chomp. So I get pretty thoroughly outled here, as I just go for damage into the King Gambit, get a nice Blizzard off on the Charizard, bring the Gambit down to about half. So this isn't a bad turn 1 trade for me, as I bring in my Komo-o, which has a pretty good matchup into both Mons. I protect because my Komo-o isn't particularly threatened here. Is this game 1? Yeah, it is. Okay. I get the call wrong. Probably should have just been like a Moonblast Clanging Scales, to be honest. I make a nice play here of Moonblasting and Clanging Scales. That gets me some damage on the Wims. I switch in my Glamora as it resists moves from both. Encore the Zardin to protect, so this is looking pretty nice for me. In comes the King Gambit as I Tailwind and Power Gem the Wims. But now I get Encored into Tailwind as I lose the Encore Speed Tie. The King Gambit suckers me for some chip, and the Garchomp kills me. So, I need to preserve my Ninetales better, because otherwise this team is very poorly equipped to handle Garchomp if they can match Tailwind with my Komo-o. So I lead Ninetales and Komo-o as a mid-ground, but I get, once again, pretty thoroughly outled. But I make a nice play here, reading that they will fear the Vacuum Wave and will protect their Gambit. I get the call wrong, actually. Yep. Phone plan shouldn't add to it. Buy Verizon, you guys. But yeah, buy Verizon. I'm actually sponsored by Verizon. All of my thoughts and opinions are representative of the companies. So, you know, take that information and go dig through all my old videos. How do I win this? Okay, like no replay analysis, nothing. I forgot how I win. Oh, because I Vacuum Wave the Gambit, and then the Chomp dies to its own lord. Yeah. And then my Komo-o simply bosses up. Go for the double tech, stall out the Tailwind, get my own Tailwind in case they're like really fast. And then my Komo-o manages to live. I shouldn't be skipping turns in a YouTube video. My Komo-o lives 2 Heat Waves. Or 1 Heat Wave. Yeah, my Komo-o lives 1 Heat Wave and an Earthquake. Right. What a guy. What a boy. What a man. I do not go for the same lead, actually. I go for this, but I'm immediately threatened out by their Whimsicott. I go for a Moonblast to break their Sash. Nice play, Ryu. Wow, I'm a beast. Go for the Spiky Shield here and Encore their Whims into Moonblast so that they cannot match Speed Control as they double my Glim, expecting a switch. Uh-oh. I guess they didn't double my Glim, because it could have just been Encore random redirection targeting. I got a lucky poison on the Zard. which will basically single-handedly win me the game. Because now I can bring in my Ninetales, disable King Gambit's Iron Head, and that is going to be wraps, because the King Gambit is going to get annihilated by my Fairy types now that it can't Iron Head, and Blizzard will take out both. I'm skipping turns again, sorry. So that puts me at a record of 5-1. As I said, we lost against the Lunalas, but I was not playing, so I do not have a replay to review that week, and that brings us to playoffs, where I just run it back. It's the same team. No changes, because my opponent had exclusively pretty much brought Stoicefox, which this has a very good matchup into. But uh-oh, what's this? It's Waichu. Waichu is my personal demon. I hate Waichu. I cannot beat Waichu. I got back from a local yesterday with tears in my... not actually, but, you know, proverbial tears in my eyes, because I went 1-3. I started 1-0, and then I got hacked by 3 separate Waichu teams, and then dropped. So that was my experience at the local yesterday, and that was, I didn't really get hacked this time, but, you know, I definitely got beaten by a Waichu. I lead Gambit Komodo, specifically 2 pressure for a graph. Switch out King Gambit, fearing the Arcanine, as they just go for an aggressive Psychic, which I wasn't really ready for. Yeah, great play from them. They Flare Blitz to finish off my Komodo, as I bring their Arcanine down to Focus Sash, and they get a hefty chunk on my Glim. And here's where I fuck up real bad. I forgot that they had Helping Hand, and I really thought that my Glimmora would just live, because it does live base Extreme Speed. It's very bulky. But I forgot they had Helping Hand, and they make a great play. They bring in their Staraptor, and yeah, it's just a little too late, as I lose Game 1 convincingly. Going into Game 2, I think, yeah, similar lead. This time they go Staraptor Sylveon, which is pretty good for me, as long as I don't get this Protect call wrong, haha. And I don't, actually. Wow, good play, right? I really thought I got this wrong. No Sludge Bomb Poison, though, unfortunately means that the Staraptor will be able to do its thing on me next turn, as they make another great play and just ignore my Glimmora. Quick attack here as I Moonblast Sludge Bomb. And here, this is not my fault. This is my opponent's fault. If I just double their Arcanine, they lose, right? So I was like, okay, my win con is Sludge Bomb, crit the Fray. And I guess maybe, you know, maybe they're not a bot. Maybe they're just better than me because... maybe they're just better than me, and they knew that I would see the Sludge Bomb crit out, and didn't protect their Arcanine intentionally there. But I was baffled by this, to say the least. Yeah, and then it's just going to be King Gambit getting Flare Blitzed. Anyways, moving on to finals, where I am playing against Kabunger VG, and I have this cool Michael Derbesti Gengar team. The version that he won VR with had a Swampert, but he actually released this version in a YouTube video first, and I think that the King Gambit is way better than Swampert, both generally and on this team. And yeah, Gengar is really great. Gengar plus Incin and then Parting Shot or Hard Switch to Ninetales is good for opposing weather matchups. Gengar Incin is just a crazy lead into this metagame, to be honest. I'm a big fan of this team. I never click Rock Slide with Sneasler. I want to test this with Fake Out Sneasler. I want to just, like, take even more of the sauce away from this team, but we'll see. Superpower D-Knight is good, though. That's, like, one of the one sauce thing that I would never, ever take away. So yeah. And they are playing the evil Devon Frostlass team. Very good team. But Incin Gengar just feels like a very easy, safe lead into this. I get kind of cooked on lead here, but I figure that Fake Out the King Gambit and Sub is a pretty free play. They make the play to punish that, which is Fake Out my guy and Kowtow, but it's fine. I haven't really lost too much tempo, right? It's more of a neutral exchange there. Impish Ensign is too strong, and I burn the King Gambit with Flare Blitz. I thought that my Ensign was faster, so that would hit a little harder. Oops. Yeah, there we go. And the Ensign lives the recoil as a little bonus, so they have to Dire me. But now I can just bring in my Ninetales for free. I really thought that Blizzard would KO both here, but I'm pretty sure it ends up KOing neither. Yeah. Bulky ass Sneasler. But because of the sub and the -1, both of my Pokemon can live through the turn as both of their Pokemon die to their respective recoil effects. And it is Frostlass Arrow in the back, so they have both Megas. Who will they Mega? It's the Frostlass. Let's not be stupid now. As I go for Blizzard, they do not go for Wide Guard, they go for Tailwind, I think? Yeah. But here I am pretty free to just go for the, Blizzard and Kowtow and the Frostlass. If they Wide Guard, it's not really a big deal. Oh, I Kowtowed the Aerodactyl in case they Wide Guarded. Good play, Ryu. Because my only real lose con at this point is my King Gambit getting hacked by one of these two, which it doesn't, because he's the GOAT. And instead of going for like a Sucker Punch or anything, I actually do Double Protect to stall out the Tailwind and go for a Shadow Ball to scout the speed tiers here. And my Gengar does, in fact, outspeed their Frostlass, so they're not max speed Frostlass. Pretty nice. But yeah, game 1 was made significantly easier by that Flare Blitz burn. I just decided to lead the same thing, and they lead something significantly worse into it. Like, this is the freest Fake Out sub of my life. As we can see, Rock Slide actually almost... Oh, I didn't go for sub? Bad play. I go to Dragonite here on the CC. And then pivot back into Ensign for another round of Intimidate, as I now get up the sub that I should have gotten last turn. Get a nice Rock Slide miss on my Ensign, so I take a little less chip. No, I just go for Shadow Ball. Dude, I'm buns. Now I go for Fake Out sub, surely. Please? Thank you. Oh my god. In comes Dragonite. I can E-Speed this Sneasler for free. The Aerodactyl is not breaking my sub from here. As they miss Rock Slide again, and that is really just going to super seal it. They have Serena and King Gambit in the back, but at this point, I can Sludge Bomb the Serena for a KO as I superpower the King Gambit. And I have my own low kick King Gambit in the back. So I win finals. I had a very, very good matchup. Ensign, like the four that these three, the three that I brought both games have just like kind of an insane spread here. And yeah, that was a very rushed analysis of my TSA games. Okay. Why I'm never using this playlist again. But yeah. If you got to the end somehow, thank you so much for watching. And I mean, like and subscribe, I guess, do all that fun stuff, cause dude, you know, I'm not even trying to be like a content creator. Fucking dislike the video, please. Yeah, bye-bye.